I've got leader roots. I've got leader roots. All I can do is grow. And even if I lose, there's nothing I can't overcome.
Hey, welcome back to the Leader Roots podcast, where your host is Stephen Smallwood. I'm Stephen. Hey, on the show, we explore the heart of leadership and being a good human resource for others. And today's topic, it's about living at work. Sounds kind of weird, right? But we'll talk about that. But first, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the podcast. I'm grateful because without you, the show wouldn't be possible. I also want to encourage all my listeners out there, guys, get some people in your life that can help you grow. You know, no man is an island. We can't do it by ourselves. And we can all use some help to be a better version of ourselves. You know, research has shown that half the people in the workplace are highly satisfied with their jobs. You know, I thought that was pretty good. But when it comes to pay, well, the same people had different thoughts. Go figure. In today's episode, I want to talk about not just being satisfied at work, but how to start living at work again. You know, I really wanted to know what percentage of the people were just existing at work, just going through the motions, just watching the clock until it was time to go home. And how many people were truly living at work, still excited about the opportunity they had when they were first employed, still coming up with new ideas, still bringing in the light, even in a cloudy department. You know, my research didn't bring me answers, but after speaking with a few people who are still living at work, I did come up with some thoughts. So here's one. When you leave home for work, it's not just your body that comes to work. Your mind goes with you. Am I right? I mean, you don't leave your mind on a shelf and pick it back up when you return home, do you? You're excited about life and you have joy, peace, and love and everything that's a part of who you are. The question I have is, why would you leave it at home? You know, when I've spoken to some people, it really is almost as if, you know, they get dressed for work. And then before leaving the house, it's almost like they put all of their happy stuff on a shelf before leaving and then leave work without it. If you want to have a good day, why would you leave the things that make you happy at home? No research could tell me that. And if you take your joy and peace to work with you, why would you allow someone else to take your peace away? And I don't mean some of the time, guys, because I know life happens. But for some people, it seems like it's most of the time. They just never seem to be happy at work. You know, I've had to ask myself some questions years ago. You know, Stephen, you claim to be a happy person, but you don't show happiness at work. Why? Because I couldn't lie to myself. Because at that time of my life, I really wasn't happy. So I took to work who I was. It was me, and I responded at work as an unhappy person would. Some years later in HR, I interacted with people, many of the employees, who blamed the company for the reason they were unhappy. And after an hour plus of conversation, I realized that they brought their unhappiness to work with them too. Hey y'all, you know, I really believe that living at work, it's possible to be happy at work. And I believe it's a choice, but you can't bring to work what you don't have. And if you can find joy and peace in your life, I believe it's possible to experience it at work. You know, I hope this helps you. And I hope if you don't have peace, you find it. But enough right now, and thanks for joining us. And until next time, don't forget to click and subscribe. But even more than that, if you know someone who can benefit from this message, then please share it with them. You know, to follow me and to see future topics with other leaders who are talking about some really great things, log on to leadershiponemedia.com. That's leadershiponemedia.com, and we'll see you in the next episode.
All I can do is grow, and even if I lose, there's nothing I can't overcome.